Hello and welcome to the latest episode of our Max Sport My Motivation campaign. I'm delighted to say that our next guest is one of the most recognisable faces in Irish sport. He has ridden over 2,500 winners. Ruby Walsh, you are very welcome.
Hey Marie, how are you?
I'm good. So when we just look at numbers, as I mentioned there, it's actually just over a year since you retired. How have you been doing?
Great, thank God. Glad I retired 12 months ago. I didn't wait for this year, but everything that was cancelled and closed down and pushed off. But yeah, I've been busy, been good. I think it was time for me to retire, and I'm happy I did.
Yeah. Why?
Look, I had a great career, but it come to the end for me. Race riding, you have to love it, and you can't consider it a job. And it was starting to become a job for me. And I always said when that day came, I would give it up. So I did. And I must say I've enjoyed the last 12 months, and hopefully things can keep going for a bit longer.
What changed that it started to feel like a job?
I suppose injuries. More and more injuries as you get older. However fit you keep yourself or however hard you try, you just don't bounce as well as you used to. And every fall starts to hurt. And when every fall starts to hurt, racing becomes a chore, and it can't be a chore. It's dangerous, it's competitive, but if it's a chore, you don't enjoy it. If you're not enjoying it, you probably don't express yourself as bad as you could do.
Do falls not hurt when you're younger?
Not as much. You roll, you bounce, you forget about them quicker as you get older. I definitely didn't bounce as high as I used to bounce. And yeah, they do. To start to hurt more routine falls, like where you just bounce back onto your feet and run away. Yeah, it's taking longer to get up, and that just becomes tiring.
I can imagine. I don't think I've ever fallen really, so maybe I can't really imagine. Anyway, so it's something that we don't actually hear a lot about is fitness for jockeys, because usually when we're talking about jockeys, we're just talking about food and weight and trying to shift weight. So just in terms of fitness, did you stay fit? What kind of training did you do?
I did. I was always incredibly fit anyway. I played every sport I was going when I was in school: rugby, football, soccer, the athletics team, whatever. So I always had a proper baseline fitness. But because race riding or riding race horses is 12 months of the year, there's only a 10-day off season as such. You tend to participate all year round. So you could be riding 4 days a week, 50 weeks in a year. So you basically train in the morning by riding the horses out, and then you participate in the afternoon. So as regards fitness outside of actually riding horses, when I was younger, no, I didn't do very much. And I probably only started to do more of it as I got older and got injured, and then had to try and keep fit in my early 30s when I wasn't race riding. So I did a lot of gym work then. I used the gym in Santry quite a bit, but when I was in my late teens, early 20s, even mid 20s, I just rode horses all day long, 320 days a year.
So jockeys that are coming on the scene now are younger jockeys. Is it the same for them, or do they kind of look to sports science and the advances of sports science and, do certain types of exercise or training, or is it just purely out every day like you were?
No, it definitely has developed, and it developed more towards the end of my career. I was lucky in that I was always aware of the nutritional side of things. I never went the traditional ways in racing, which was starve yourself in sweat. I was more into my diet, what I ate. Even when I was in school, I went to the Blackrock Clinic to a dietitian called Mary McCreary and had a diet prepared for myself when I was in school to try and maintain my body fat levels as low as I possibly could. So I was always well aware of my diet and looked after my diet. As I got older, I altered it to suit myself a bit more, and whereby I only eat twice a day, and I still have that habit. I only have lunch and dinner. So that was my diet. I was more into diet than sweating, but definitely as regards fitness, the younger lads now are more aware of their core strength, of not so much running, but some sort of aerobic fitness as well, because riding horses is a very different exercise to most other sports. It's a compression of your muscles, whereas playing football or athletics or rugby is an extension of your muscles. Riding horses is the opposite. It's a contraction of your muscles. So it's a much more static fitness than a footballer.
You mentioned the diet there, and I know you were so disciplined always. Were you miserable though? Like, were you hungry? What's it like?
No, I wasn't hungry. I was never hungry. I didn't believe in being hungry. And even when I did have to sweat, in order to sweat, you have to feed your body. You have to hydrate it to be able to sweat it, and you have to feed it to be able to sweat as well. So, which you might only be nibbling, even if I was trying to lose 4 or 5 pounds to get down to a very light weight, which for me would have been sort of 9, 10, 9, 11. You still have to have something to eat because you couldn't just keep taking it out of your body without putting it back in. You put a bit in to get more out. So no, I wasn't miserable. I had a good lunch. I had a sandwich every day at lunchtime, and I had dinner, whatever it was. I tried to eat 6 hours apart. Dinner in the summertime as a jockey could be McDonald's and Athlone on the way home from Ballinrobe. Like we weren't just, even though we're professionals, not so much it wasn't anyone's responsibility on your own, but you drive out of Ballinrobe at 9 o'clock on a Monday night. Where are you going to get something to eat? You're 3 hours from home as it is. So takeaway was the best option because you were in work again the next morning at 7 o'clock. So it would have been things like that, but it was what it was. We got on with it.
Did you feel guilty? Like, do you feel when you were going for McDonald's, like, is it on your mind that this isn't ideal?
No, because McDonald's was definitely the lightest one. I could tell you which takeaways stayed in your body the longest. So which ones just moved on through. And McDonald's was a quick fix. Very nutritional value in it, but it wasn't that bad for your weight. It happened every now and then. But yeah, you tried to eat as well as you could and tried to be on a diet. But when you're on the road and you're in a car, that's not that easy. You weren't turning up a train and having a chef pack up a box for you to bring home with you. You didn't have that luxury. Every jockey is individual, so you had to make do with whatever you could get yourself.
I know that like what you do is different to every other sport, but like listening to you there and knowing that you don't have breakfast and you're going out riding in the morning for long periods of time and you haven't eaten anything, it just doesn't sound great.
Yeah, but you try and keep hydrated and you become used to it and your stomach is a muscle. And I became very used to it. I would had, even today, for instance, I was in Ruby Walsh this morning, we were galloping horses on the Curragh. I came back in here at just after 1:45, had a sandwich, a tuna sandwich, and I'll have my dinner after I finish doing the radio and eat tonight. But that's what I will eat today, and I still work on that discipline. I don't know, is it a habit or what is it, but that's more than enough. And I think a lot of people in this country are guilty of overeating.
Well, yeah, there is definitely a lot of that, but at the same time, like not everyone is as disciplined as you, and it's kind of hard to believe that a year after you stopped competing at the top level that you still have that discipline like that. You know, you're not getting up in the morning, putting the couple of slices of white toast into the toaster, putting the butter on, cup of coffee, sitting down.
Maybe I'm vain, but I just can't see myself getting too heavy.
Is that it though? Is it that you just don't want to? You don't want to get heavy?
No, I don't want to get heavy. I've put on 6 pounds since I retired, and that's enough in my mind.
You're counting it.
I still have the scales in my bathroom, and I would still get out of the shower and weigh myself. Yeah, that's habit. But that was my whole life. I did that every morning, every evening, and I know by looking in the mirror what weight I was.
Are you content with the 6 pounds? Are you thinking, I could do with losing that?
No, I'm happy enough with the 6 pounds. All my clothes still fit me, so as long as my clothes fit me, really, I'll be happy.
So now that you have retired and like you're not riding out 355 days of the year as you were before, what do you do for fitness training wise? Are you doing anything? Do you like to keep fit?
I have to. It's actually starting back in Santry next week with Enda King. Definitely, as a result of all the injuries I've had and with the loss of muscle in the last 12 months, I suppose, I'm definitely starting to feel a few aches and pains and my back is starting to get sore and my shoulders are starting to get stiff. But I guess that was always going to happen. But I did believe in the last, I suppose, 10 years I was riding in those exercises. A lot of them are core exercises. They're all muscular exercises. I have broken my leg on 4 occasions and dislocated my hip. So running is not a massive option for me. I'm not great at it. And even when I do run with the kids, my shin would be sore after it. So I would cycle quite a bit. And I'd cycle with the kids. And I guess my fitness now revolves around what the girls are doing. My eldest 2 are mad for road. They're 9 and 10 and they're pretty athletic or enthusiastic about being athletic. And I try and do a bit with them. But I was a loved running when I was a kid, but I struggle to run now. So whatever exercise I do now is cycling. I do quite. I don't mind. I like cycling.
Is there a bit of a concern there that, you know, you are starting to get a few aches and pains, and then how that will progress in the future?
No, it's not. It's up to me to make sure it doesn't get any worse. That would be all to do with planks and pilates and my posture and doing my exercises every day, and that's routine, especially shoulder exercises. I dislocated both of them, had to have both reconstructed, and yeah, it's only a matter of me keeping them with bands and follow my routine, and I will be fine as long as I keep the muscle built up and keep using them. And I think when you slow down, even though I have retired, I like to think I've changed career. I'm not retired. I have to keep doing that, and I have to keep my whatever my what's the word I'm looking for? Whatever my lung fitness, I definitely think I have to keep my muscular fitness up.
Okay, so your aerobic fitness and then your strength. So we'll be working on
Yeah,
strength.
strength. Yeah, I think definitely have to stay strong. I think posture is a huge thing, and because jockeys spend so much of their lives bent over in a crouched position, you do automatically become curved. Your shoulders roll forward, your back becomes slightly humped. So to work on your posture for the rest of my life, if I can keep a good posture, I should be able to keep myself pretty okay.
It sounds like you've big plans now for the next few months.
Well, I'm telling you, it's a matter of discipline, Marie. I can discipline the food, I can discipline the exercise as well. But
I can see a reality TV show here now.
I don't know about that. But posture is everything. And you listen to so many people in the world with so many issues, lower back issues and issues in the middle of the back, and most of it's coming from their glutes and their shoulders. And their poor old back gets the blame for everything.
So it's almost like you're just going to be like prehab almost now for what's coming down the track in the future.
Yeah, basically, yeah, that's what I'll have to do. But look, I won't mind having to do it. I had a great career, and riding horses made you incredibly fit. I remember it's a man. I remember Steve Collins riding in a charity shortly after he finished boxing in Ferryhouse, and he rode the race. You can imagine a boxer; he'd have been incredibly fit, and he was knackered when he was finished because riding was such a compression of your muscles. He couldn't even cope with that. No, I couldn't have danced around the boxing ring for 3 rounds like Steve Collins, but I could have ridden a horse 50 times as far as he could. So race riding is a completely different fitness to what most people are used to.
So I know you're riding out for Willie Mullins in the mornings. Are you starting to feel like, oh, I need to do a bit of work now?
Yeah, I am. So Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays, I do other works. I do other things, and definitely I'm fortunate to have kids that are enthusiastic. And we're lucky we live in the countryside, and they are into exercise. And Isabel goes for a run, and I had started to jog with her for most on 3 days a week, but I've given the jogging up again. It was definitely catching up with me. So we're into cycling.
So motivation, obviously the girls are going to motivate you now to get going. But like before, when you were going out every day, it was for work. Now you don't have that. You don't need to do it. It's not your job anymore. Like, are you going to struggle with motivation, do you think?
No, I don't actually. I didn't struggle with motivation when I was riding. It was my career, it was my life, it was my profession. I never needed motivation. I never needed somebody in a dressing room or on the sideline psyching me up that you've got to do this and this matters and this is what you have to do. I never needed that. I always had my own motivation. But now, no, I'm pretty driven in what I want to do. And as regards motivation, I can't sleep if I'm not tired. And I mean physically tired. If I'm only mentally tired, I won't sleep because does my mind catch up too quick. But I need to be physically tired to sleep, and I love sleeping. So I exercise to make sure I'm physically tired as well as mentally tired to make sure I can sleep.
So never in your career did you need motivation. Why do you think that is? Is it something that's inherent in you? Like, are you just that type of person that you're always kind of a go-getter, a self-starter?
Don't know about go-getter or self-starter, but I think racing is unique and still is unique in the fact that it's pay for play. So you're paid by performance. So when something is your profession and you can have the opportunity to be at the top of it, you can only earn and succeed what you want yourself. All right, when you get injured, don't get me wrong, I was the same as everybody else. I would have a low week or a low fortnight where I'd be here lying on the couch, wouldn't shave, barely talk to anybody. Everyone's human. We all have down days, and maybe still do at times have down days. Everyone does. But I only have to watch the television and watch a horse winning that I should have been riding, that somebody else was riding. And there was my motivation. I would be in the gym, gone to Santry, ride the watt bike, whatever exercises Andy King told me to do, and would push myself till I'd fall down on the floor to make sure I could get back and I could be better, because I wanted to succeed and I didn't want somebody else succeeding in the position that I should have been in. And that's why I did it. And I didn't need somebody to tell me that should be you. I knew that should be me or could be me, and I wanted that to be me.
And things didn't always go to plan, even with injury. So sometimes you were on the way back and had a setback. How did you get over the setback? Because there'll be plenty of people watching this who will have been injured and are trying to get back on track again. Like, how did you always kind of rise again?
Probably had a cry. Definitely had a drink. And then 2 days later, just realised that the answer wasn't in the bottom of the bottle, and feeling sorry for myself wasn't going to solve it. And the only way I could get better was by getting out and getting on again. And injury is hard, and you're human if it doesn't upset you. And to me, it was always the physical pain of being injured more than the mental pain. It was what I'm going to miss, how long am I going to be out for, who's going to win on those horses. It was never that your leg is broken and the physical pain is killing you. That pain, I can never remember that pain. That physical pain never stayed with me, but I can remember the torture of having to watch horses win races that I should have been riding, watching seasons go by, sat here for winters, looking at meeting after meeting coming on, and you're there with your leg in a cast, wondering why your leg has let you down, why did your leg break? So to me, it was always the mental pain of it was way worse than the physical pain. But you just have to get on, and feeling sorry for yourself, well, where's the result in that?
And what about the criticism? Because you were criticised at times when people were expecting you to do things, or the horse that you're on to do things, and it didn't materialise the way that they wanted it to. How did you deal and cope with that? Because it's kind of like another layer that comes with being in the position that you were in for so long.
It does, but praise and criticism come hand in hand, and it depends on what you want to take from it. So if you were willing to or want to take the praise from people for something you've done, you're therefore reading the same articles or the same social media platforms as the criticism is going to be on. So therefore you have to expose yourself to both. Now, I was never a believer in letting myself get too high or get too low. I always kind of reckoned if I could stay somewhere in the middle. And whom I chose to accept the praise from, or listen to maybe, that was giving me praise, were probably the people I wanted to get criticism from as well. Now, what the world, not the world, because the world didn't watch racing, but what the people thought of me on Twitter or Facebook or Instagram or whatever the platform was, I didn't know those people. So the criticism didn't necessarily affect me. I'm lucky as in I'm 41. I was probably just old enough, or in my eyes, maybe I was backward maybe. But I never really took on social media, and therefore I never really let it affect my life. Now, I still don't believe, and I'm archaic in this, that it has been the greatest thing for the world. I just look at different tragedies in the world and look what people do, and the expectation that maybe the internet and social media has put on people, how accessible everything has become. I don't know, are we all mentally capable of dealing with those things? So not being part of social media definitely helped me deal with criticism, because most of it I never saw.
You're sounding very sensible. Were you always this sensible, or did it come with age?
I suppose it came with age, but I left school a teenager at 18, but I started working in a man's world the following day. I didn't get 4 years in college or university to grow up and develop. You walked out from school a boy or a teenager, and you were in a man's world the next day. Reality hit you very quickly. You had to learn to mature extremely quickly. And when I was 19, I had an income tax bill, and you just have to deal with reality. I was 21 when I bought a house. You have to move very quick and grow up very quick. So you do mature probably very quick. Now there's things in your life you miss out as well when that happens to you. And obviously as a jockey, you're retired well before retirement age. But you have to grow up pretty quick and get savvy and be able to deal with praise and criticism, and I suppose just keep getting back up and keep proving yourself, because you can walk into your own bathroom every night, like everybody does, and you might think, well, who did I please today, or who was proud of me today? But you have to look yourself in the mirror and be happy with what you did today, and that you're proud of yourself. And if you're not proud of yourself, well, then nobody else can be proud.
When you look at the new jockeys coming through, or the jockeys that are a little bit on their career, like, how do you feel about that? Just, knowing that life goes on, there's a new generation. I don't know if there'll ever be another Ruby Walsh, but there'll be somebody trying to be anyway.
Of course there will. There's always another. There'll be another. There was another Pele. There was Maradona. There was another Messi. And there's always, no matter what sport it is, there will always be somebody else. And that's progression. And I look at the riders now and think they're a great bunch of guys. I watch them on the television and listen to them on the radio. They're very good communicators. They're open people. They're trying their best. And they are progressing the sport. I mean, it's no different in football or rugby. Now you get people who are tired and say, that generation wasn't as good as ours, or we were tougher, or we were harder, or the fences were bigger, or we got worse balls. No, they didn't, and we won't. And they will be better than us, and they are probably more professional than we were, or I was in the beginning. I came on the back of a change. I came at the start of a change in racing between socialising and professionalism. And the guys that are there now are very professional.
You must be thrilled to have racing back after the pandemic.
Yeah, it's been great. Jump racing started yesterday in Limerick, and the flat's been back, and it's been entertaining. I think there's some good racing to come. You'll have both derbies, the Irish Derby this weekend, the Epsom Derby the following weekend, with the French Derby. And I just think by tightening the whole racing programme up, I think you're going to end up with some wonderful big race clashes later on in the season. And I think I can't ever see it happening, but less definitely seems to be making more in horse racing right now. The quality is up because there's been less of it. And I think less is more could be the way for a lot of sports, if only people would ever make it happen. I think we have definitely stretched racing as thin as it can be stretched, and I think less is more could be the way forward.
So what do you mean? Just that we don't get to see as much, that there isn't as many meetings?
Yeah, I mean, maybe tier it. Maybe racing should be tiered. You can't expect soccer is tiered. You don't expect everybody to watch Division 4A or the conference, Vauxhall Conference, or whatever it is. Racing doesn't seem to have divisions. It's all supposed to be equal and fair, and I think maybe meetings should be graded that way as to prize money and the expectation for a crowd to attend and for people to watch, maybe on terrestrial television or whatever it may be. But people will watch the high quality action in every sport, and I think racing needs to tighten up its quality stuff rather than spreading it thin, to maybe put the quality in one area.
Okay, Ruby. Well, I know one thing that I want to watch, and that's Ruby Walsh's fitness journey. So get one of those webcams put in now in the whole gym, and we can see what you'll be up to for the next week.
Standing against the wall, getting my posture correct. Really.
Thanks so much for joining me, and best of luck now. Seriously, I'll be keeping an eye on you and checking in to make sure you're doing your exercises.
Thank you very much.